To improve my speed, how would you split your training? Mostly endurance tempo efforts for 70%, then lactate threshold VO2 max and anaerobic capacity efforts for the rest. I assume we're looking at running speed. Typically, it just kind of depends. It depends, where you are in your training. Are you getting into your race-specific training to where you're building up your distance for an Ironman type event? Or you just want to work on maybe in the off season and improving your speed. So I'm going to address if you're kind of in the off season, you're looking to get faster. So yes, you can't really get faster unless you run faster. But I still caution people, don't go overboard on the intense training. Still keep in mind you need quality aerobic sessions to really build that base and that foundation to work upon to improve your VO2 and max anaerobic capacity and all that. There is one other key is have a form analysis done and make sure you've got the proper form. So if you're running to where you're kind of putting the brakes on as you run, it's going to be harder. You're going to have to put more effort into running faster, if that makes sense. I did a form analysis way back when, and after I changed a little bit of my dynamics and using gravity to help me run forward, kind of fall forward while I'm running, there's a lot less energy involved in running and actually made me faster pretty quick. So you could do a form analysis and find things in your running form that you can change. It makes you more efficient and pretty quick. I mean, it's a pretty night and day difference of within a week. I was able to kind of improve my form and then I was faster without having to actually put as much effort into it, if that makes sense. So with improving your speed, I typically would recommend, if you're looking for run speed and you want to improve your 5K time, and you're not really focused on the other, swims and bikes and runs and, swims and bikes. If you're really focused on runs, I'd keep a longer aerobic endurance session maybe on the weekends, and sprinkle in a few others on days you don't do runs, or maybe if you did an intense run later, you do an aerobic run for an easy run. But there's a speed session in there to where you're working, the threshold, you're doing intervals, you're either doing 3 or 4 sets of 3 to 4 minutes to start with, and maybe kind of peaking out at 3 sets of 10 minutes at all out pace. And then you're doing a 1 minute or a one workout per week to where you're kind of more of a tempo level effort. So if you're focused on that, like a 5K or 10K or something, you're focused on running 3 or 4 miles to start with at that race effort level. And then later you're focusing on, 6 to 7 miles, just depending on your race distance and that type of thing. So I wouldn't go necessarily 70% of going tempo efforts and make sure I just read your question correctly, mostly endurance tempo efforts. So I would say 70% is going to be just kind of aerobic endurance. So just keep it that level. And then maybe 30% you're splitting up to maybe 2 at max intense workouts per week. I think if you go more than that, you're looking at possibly causing injuries. Without knowing your background, it's kind of hard to recommend that as well. So 1 quality speed session a week. Make sure you're getting proper recovery. And I like consistency over time. So you might be running maybe every day, but maybe one's run is just 1 or 2 miles. It's nothing crazy. Maybe do a bike ride and do a quick little brick run. But mileage would need to go up probably a little bit, just depending on your goals. So it's kind of a loaded question, but a good speed session, count that as 1 intense workout per week. I like to see 2, 3 max. If you're including your bike sessions and your swim sessions, if you're getting really intense workouts in that area too. So just got to be careful to make sure you don't go overtrained and overboard and cause injuries and that type of thing. But it is possible if you're working it correctly. So hopefully that kind of helps you out a little bit in trying to dice out how to get faster over time.